put together in the right ratio, green tea, turmeric, milk thistle, ashwagandha, and bacopa, those 5 together caused an 18-fold or 1800% enhancement in the effect. So it wasn't just additive, it was truly synergistic. And there's actually a video on YouTube about Dr. McCord talking about this where he says, we didn't expect this big of an effect. We expected it to be synergistic, but we never expected it to be an 1800% increase. So it blew away even Dr. McCord. So what exactly is oxidative stress? For those of us in the medical world, we know what this is. We talk about it a lot. But for those of you that aren't in the medical world, you may not know what this is. So let me kind of bring it down to your level and explain what this is. Oxidative stress is rusting of the body from the inside out. Every day of our lives, we eat food, we burn that food as fuel, and then that gets turned into energy in the form of ATP. There are byproducts of this process called free radicals. These free radicals are toxic molecules that are created in the process of making energy. And you can think of them as waste or exhaust. But the problem with the free radicals is they cause damage to every part of our cells. And so they can damage the cell membranes, they can damage the mitochondria, they can damage the DNA. And when they damage the DNA, what happens? It causes mutations, and those mutations lead to cancer. Okay? That's how cancer gets started, is mutations in the DNA. So when we're young, our bodies do a really good job at fighting the free radicals. Our bodies have a built-in antioxidant defense system where our own cells make these enzymes like SOD and catalase and glutathione and hundreds of others that go and neutralize those free radicals. And they get rid of them before they can cause damage to our cells. But as we age, after we get past the age of 20, our bodies progressively lose the ability to make those antioxidant enzymes. So we lose the ability to fight the free radicals. The free radicals do more and more damage. They lead to cellular aging, cellular stress. They lead to the whole aging process and ultimately all of the diseases associated with aging. Now, in addition to just eating food and creating free radicals that way, we live in a very toxic environment, and we have all of these additional things that lead to more free radical production. So when we are exposed to toxins in our environment, like in our food, the stuff that they spray on our crops, the stuff that they inject the cattle with, all of those things increase free radical production. I was a cardiologist for 20 plus years. I was exposed to radiation every day of my practice in the cath lab doing coronary angiograms. One of the instructors in the anti-aging fellowship that I went through was a cardiologist. He was an interventional cardiologist. He was the most clean-living person you could ever come across. He only ate twigs and leaves and dirt and roots and bugs and nuts, okay? And he exercised, he ran marathons, he did all the right things, right? But he had a carotid ultrasound done, okay? And he had plaque in his left carotid and not in his right. And the reason for that, he believes, is when he's doing a coronary angiogram, I'm standing here as a doctor, the patient's laying here on the table, the x-ray machine is right here, it's always on the same time, always on the same side every time, and that x-ray machine was radiating his left carotid artery continuously for 30 years. And it was causing him to develop plaque in there. It wasn't because that he was living a bad lifestyle, it was because of his exposure to the radiation. And I worry about that too. I haven't gone in to get a carotid ultrasound because I'm too afraid to. I don't want to find out what's in there. But all of these other things also increase oxidative stress. We can't get around it, guys. The older you are, the more oxidative stress you have, the more damage is going on a regular basis to your cells. And that damage can lead to, ultimately, disease and ultimately death. Every organ system in your body is affected by oxidative stress, from the heart to the skin, kidneys, joints, lungs. The brain is particularly susceptible to oxidative stress. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, there seems to be an epidemic of these things right now, and it's because of oxidative stress. Immune system problems, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, all of those types of things, atherosclerosis, macular degeneration, all sorts of things. So every organ system is affected by oxidative stress. Now, all of these diseases seem to be unrelated, right? I mean, what does rheumatoid arthritis have to do with myocardial infarction and heart attack? Nothing, right? Well, the thing that ties it all together, though, is this oxidative stress. That's the root cause. So as physicians, what we typically do is we treat things well after they're developed. Well after somebody has the disease, we put them on a drug to hopefully slow down things, right? What we're talking about is getting back to the root cause here, the oxidative stress, okay? And by doing so, we can impact potentially so many different things. And that's what gets me really excited from a preventive standpoint. So as I mentioned earlier, when I was first exposed to this, I did not know what this NRF2 thing was, but I found out what it was very quickly. And let me explain to you what it is. It's a protein. It's in every cell in your body, and when it gets turned on or activated, its job is to go into the nucleus of the cell and turn on the genes that code for antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antifibrotic proteins. So the net result is it reduces inflammation and oxidative stress by turning on this NRF2 protein. So in the past, the way that we've tried to deal with the problem of oxidative stress is by taking antioxidant vitamins, things like vitamin E, vitamin C, beta-carotene, and so forth, okay? But what we found over the last 10 to 15 years is those things, number one, don't do a very effective job, and number two, may actually be harmful. So one molecule of, say, vitamin E, for example, will neutralize one free radical, and then the process is over. One molecule of SOD can neutralize up to 1 million molecules of free radicals before it gets used up. So a molecule of SOD is literally 1 million times more potent than a molecule of vitamin E at neutralizing those free radicals. Now, protandim is not an antioxidant. It turns on the cell's own ability to make antioxidant enzymes, okay? So it revs up the production of these things like the SOD. Now, this antioxidant molecule is actually worse than what I just described because when this antioxidant neutralizes the free radical, it does so by donating an electron, and when it does that, it becomes a free radical itself. So if you have a whole bunch of vitamin E or vitamin C floating around in your system, and this process gets started, you set up a chain reaction where what you were taking as an antioxidant becomes a pro-oxidant. And so now we have studies over the last 10 to 15 years with tens of thousands of patients that show that taking high doses of these vitamin antioxidant supplements in some cases actually increases your risk of heart disease and cancer. It doesn't decrease it. We know it doesn't decrease it.